Okay, let's start with the shell scripting session. So in yesterday class, we have discussed about how to write a sample bash script and also what is scripting, what is kernel in Linux, what is shell. These are all the things we have discussed. Okay, continuation of this, we'll talk about some second script. Let me write one more time about this script and then we'll talk about second script. Okay, so let me go back to the Linux mission. So I will use this SSH and then connecting to it, and I will enter the password. Now I have successfully connected to this mission. Okay, pwd, I am in this present working directory /home/mother. At present, I don't have any of the files. If I give ls, I don't have anything. ls-la, I have only some hidden files and directories will be available. These will be coming by default. Okay, so let's write the script. We're using nano and then first.sh. First.sh. This is the script I will be using, the name for my shell script. And then, you can see the previous example which we have done. The same thing, I'm copying it one more time and I'll be pasting it over here. Okay. Once I have done, press Ctrl O, click on Enter, and then Ctrl X. Okay. So let's execute the script. ls. Before that, let's check about the permission. ls-la. Now you can see it is having, user is having reader and writing, group is having reader and writing. Now others will have a reading permission. If we wanted to change it, chmod 777 and then first.sh. If I give this, now it having every user, user, group and others will have executable permission. So this is how we will be changing to execute the permission of the shell scripting. Okay, let's execute the script by using sh and then first.sh. It is asking my name. So let me enter my name and then you are getting like good morning and then username. If I run one more time, you can enter whatever the name you want. Let's enter John. Good morning, John. Again, it will be coming like, let's execute Azure and then good morning, Azure. Like this, we're going to get. Now, let's write one more shell script in front of you. I'm writing it. Okay. I will use nano second.sh, second script.sh. I'm putting it like second.sh. Whatever name you want, you can enter like that. Okay. The first thing we need to do is shebang. We need to include it. That's a best practice. And then I'm taking echo. It will print like a print statement in other programming languages. I'm asking the question like enter your first name. I'm giving it like enter first name. Okay. After entering the details, I wanted to first it will print it. I wanted to read the username from the user. Okay. So I will be using, okay, first name. Okay. I'll be using like this, but okay, let me write it and then we'll check about it. Echo enter your second name. Enter your second name. Quotations close. And then read second name. Okay. And then echo what I'm going to do is your full name is like this, and then dollar first name and then last second name. Okay, or we can say it like last name as well. I'm just writing some example here. First name, okay, and then dollar last name or second name, whatever the variable name which you have given, you can give like this. Okay, and quotations close. Control X, Y, click enter. Now, if I give this, it will become like that. Now let's execute this. It is asking my name. So I'm entering my first name. The second name like this. Okay. Don't take a mistake, but I'm just entering the name like that for your understanding purpose. Okay. Now, if you can observe, read first name, enter second name. I mean, read second name, enter second name. Like that, we have entered the information. Okay. And if we are printing it with this combination, these we are going to calling it as variables. Understanding? These we are going to calling it as variables. Okay. So what is meant by variable here? What is meant by variables here? Okay. Variables are variables are used to store the values. Used to store the values. Variables will represent variables will represent data in key value format. In key value format. Like for example, if you are learning any programming languages, we'll be having additional program like a equal to 10, a equal to 10, b equal to 5. Okay, and then we'll be entering like printing the name. Okay, and then what is the gender? Like we'll be printing like a male, and age equal to 30. Like this, we'll entering the details. Okay, in programming format. Okay, but in shell scripting, if you're entering this kind of variables, but it's okay. But we don't have any kind of data types in shell scripting. Okay. We usually declare the variables in a two types of format. One is system variables. Like in Linux, we'll be following. We don't have any data types, but we have two types of variables format. Two types of variables format. Okay. So let's see about two types of variables. What are those variables here in Linux? One is system variables, or we can go into calling it as environment variable. Okay, system variable or environment variable. Second one, we are going to define our own variables that are going to calling it as user defined variables. Okay, what is meant by system variable? The variable, the variables which are already defined and using by our system, using by our system is called system variables. Whereas, what are meant by user defined variables? What are meant by user defined variables? Before going to that, let's deep dive about this system variables. For example, system variables will be dollar, and this is dollar is a prompt. You can think of as a enter. I mean prompt entering. Okay, echo and then dollar shell. Okay, this will tells us what is the current shell information which is having it. Now, if I give dollar user, it will going to print like user related information. If I give $path echo dollar and then path, it's going to print a system environment variables. Okay, so let's check one by one. When I execute dollar echo dollar shell bin bash, it's going to come echo dollar user. If I give user related information, it's going to print. In the same way, if I give path, it's going to provide the path of that user bin bash. Okay, this is the details it's going to print over here. Okay, and also if I wanted to check, okay, if I wanted to check, we can check or access all the environment variables. We can check or access all the environment variables. Environment variables. How we are going to access? Using using the command using the command called as $env. If I print this, if I use this variable, okay, we are going to get all our system related environment variables. Understanding? Now if I execute, if I enter env, it will print all the system related variables. These are all default system related variables. These are all default system related variables. System variables or predefined variables, we can say. Understanding? System variables or environment variables or predefined variables. While creating the virtual machine itself, these variables are declared. You can see here pwd, home, and then shell, log name. We have host name. These are all predefined variables. These are all predefined variables or system variables, we can say, or we can say environment variables as well. Okay. Now I wanted to create my own variables. How I am going to create? How I am going to create? For example, if you can see here, like the variables, the variables which which we are creating, we are creating based on our requirement, based on our requirement, are called user defined variables. User defined variables. Okay, like for example, name equal to like this. Okay, id equal to something 10 okay, age equal to 30. Okay, gender equal to, for example, in programming languages, how we are going to enter? By using string, something we're going to enter. We don't require like this, we'll just directly declare like this. Okay, like this we'll be having it. Now suppose if I declare the variables like this, how can I access this? To access value of variable, to access value of variable, we will use the syntax will be, we will use the syntax will be echo dollar variable name, variable name. Here I am telling you one important note here. Whenever you are declaring your user defined variables, that should be always looks like a capital letter, not in a lowercase letter. That should be in a uppercase letter. That will be the best practice, we'll be using it. Understanding? For example, we can use lowercase letters as well, but it won't be a problem. But in real-time practices, we will use always in a uppercase variables only. Uppercase letters as a variables. Okay. Now I wanted to create a variable called as I wanted to create a variable called as course equal to DevOps. Suppose I wanted to give the variable as course equal to DevOps. So how we can give this? How we can give this? Okay, if I print echo dollar course equal to dollar course, that's it. It has to print DevOps information. How I am going to print it? How I am going to using it? Okay, for that, for example, you just check here. Okay, course equal to DevOps. What it was telling? Course command is not found. So before that, we need to use something called as export. Export is the word which we'll be using as a variables. Okay, export and then course equal to DevOps. If I give this, okay, what it was telling? What it was telling? Not a valid identifier. There should not be any spaces here. Okay, there should not be any kind of spaces here. Now it is working. Now if I execute, now if I execute, okay, if I execute course, will I get the details? No, we will not get the details. So what we need to do? Dollar and then give the course. I mean give the variable name. Here also not coming it. So you can read it here. Echo dollar course. If I give this, now we are getting the variable. Okay. Please be remember. We have declared, we could not able to declare it directly. Instead of it, we will use export command. Export. So that we can declare the variable like this. When you are declaring it, if you have any spaces, it will be throwing it as a not a valid identifier. Not a valid identifier. So how to declare it? Export space and then course equal to DevOps. Okay. This is the way of correctly giving the variable. Okay. And then if I wanted to print it, if I wanted to get the variable, okay, get the variable of that value, we will use echo and then dollar quotes so that it will print the variable of the, I mean, whatever the value we have, which we have assigned, that variable, that value will be coming out of the terminal. Okay. It will be displayed to the terminal. I hope it's making sense. Next, why do we need to use export command? If we use export command in terminal for setting variables, then those variables will be removed once when we close our terminal. These are called as temporary variables. Understanding? Whatever the variables which we have defined, it will be for temporary purpose. If we use export command in terminal for setting variables, then those variables will be removed once we close our terminal. Then if I close the session, if I re-log into the session, this variable will not be available here. This variable will not be available here. So how to make it as a variable permanent? So that we will use something called as, we will need to make the variables permanently. Okay. How to set, how to set variables permanently. Permanently. Understanding? How to set variables permanently. Before that, this is not the way, not correct to declare the variable. So how to declare it? Export course equal to DevOps. There should not be any spaces. There should not be any spaces. And then this is the way of correct. Okay, echo dollar, it will get the variable for us. Okay. For example, how to unset the variable. Like if I don't want this variable to be used. In such cases, we will use unset and then variable name. And then variable name. Like this, we will use export and unset. Export will be creating a variable. Unset will be removing the variable. Like this, we will use. Now, how to set the variable permanently? Okay, how to set the permanently variable permanently in the sense? we need to use we need to use dot bash rc dot bash rc file to set variables permanently for the user. Okay. Now I'm logged in as a this user. Now if I give ls-a la, you can see in this dot bash rc file, if you are declaring the variables, then those variables will be available even if you relog in the session or log out the session and log in. Okay, close the session, and if you are opening the session, then in such cases this variable will be available to us. Okay, understanding? In every user home directory, dot bash rc will be available. It is as a hidden file. It is as a hidden file. When we give ls-la, it will print that bash rc. I mean, it will list the bash rc here. So suppose if I wanted to check it, if I wanted to check the content what I am having, in such cases, I will use cat dot bash rc. Understanding that cat dot bash rc. If I give it, you can see the information. Dot bash rc. Source global definition, user specific environment is all the details will be specified here. Okay. Now I wanted to give the variables in this bash rc. How I am going to give nano or VA editor, whichever editor you want. I'm comfortable with nano. Go for dot bash rc. Okay. Dot bash rc. I'll come to the end of the line. Okay. I will add a comment like add variables add variables at the end of the line. At the end of the line, I'm giving that sample some comment. Okay, how I am going to give it? I'm going to print it like I told you previously. Whenever you are declaring the variable, it should be in a capital capital letters or uppercase letters. Okay, I'm giving it as DevOps, and trainer is the variable I'm going to give. My name is the trainer. Okay, and time equal to 8 a.m. is the time I wanted to give. Okay, understanding? And also I can give some other variables if you want. I can give the variables like, for example, cloud is the variable I'm going to give, and then I'll giving it as Azure. Understanding? Understanding? Like this way, I'll give the variables. Whichever variables I want, I can add the variables at the end of this bash RC. Okay. Now I have entered the information. Now I have entered the information. How to do it? How to save it? You can type Control O, Control X, Control O, and it will get the file named right. You can click on enter and then Control X. Okay. Now if I give dot bash rc, it will print all the details. Otherwise, I will use tail command. What are the last few lines about it? I wanted to check. Okay. Tail dot bash rc. It will print the variables of last lines. I mean, it will print display the content of the last lines. Okay. Now, if I wanted to apply the changes, what should I need to do is source and then dot bash rc. If I didn't execute this one, source dot bash rc. If I didn't give this one, if I didn't give this one, okay, the variables will not be available. The variables will not be available. Understanding? So let me click on enter. Let me click on enter. Now, if I give echo dollar cloud, I'm getting Azure echo dollar trainer like this, and also I will give time. I'm getting this echo dollar course. I'm getting like this. Like this way, if I perform logout and login, the variables will be still will be available to me. Understanding? The variables will be still available to me. Okay. Like this way, we will assign the variables here. Next, for example, I wanted to set these variables for all users in Linux. How we can do it? How we can do it? Okay, like we need to use bash rc, and then once we enter the bash rc to apply the changes, I'll be using source and then dot bash rc. Like this I'll going to use. Okay, access variables. Okay, how we are going to access echo and then dollar variable name. We already know about it. Okay, now my point here is, like if you take I'll just write a note point, like for every for every Linux mission, every user will contain their their own their own dot bash rc file, their own dot bash rc file. Okay, now let's go to the concept how to set variables, how to set variables, how to set variables for all users in Linux, for all users in Linux. How to do this? How to perform this? We have a command, we have a file which is nothing but, whenever if I execute cat etc and then slash profile. Okay, in this file, if we add variables in this file, then those variables will be applicable for all users in Linux machine. Understanding? If I give the variables in this file, then it will be available to all the users in this Linux machine. Okay, in that Linux machine. Okay, now let's check this one. If I give cat slash etc and then profile, if I give this information, you can see, you can see. Okay, if I give the variables at the end of this file, that whatever the variables which I'm giving in this inside of this file, that will be applicable to all the users who are accessing this Linux machine. I'm having this user. Suppose if I have another user in this mission, which is different username. For that user also, those variables will be available to them. Okay, this is how we are going to add. Okay, task is for you. If you are seeing this video, task is for you is in this file. In this file, you can add the variable. You can add the variables. Okay, you can create the users with user add command. With create a users with user add command and log into that user. Log into that user and then check it, whatever the variables which we have declared in this current user, those variables will be available in that session or not. Check it, and whenever if you are entering the details in cat etc profile, those variables will be available to the next user or not. Okay, think of it as an assignment and check it. Okay, let me know in the comment section. Okay, next, for every programming language, if you are declaring the variables, we have some kind of rules, right? Rules for declaring a variable. The same way, if I wanted to go declare the variables, what will be the rules available over here? Okay, variable name, variable name, variable name should not start with digit. This is one of the rule, and also we have plenty rules are there, like variable name should not contain any below symbols, below three symbols, below three symbols. What are those? In the sense, for example, if you are entering declare like hyphen at the date of, okay, hash, you should not declare these symbols. I'm separating it with comma. Okay, don't think as comma can be declared or not. Okay, hyphen at the rate of hash. These three symbols will not be used as a variable. Understanding? Variable name should not contain these three below symbols. Clear? This is one of the point. Important point, very important point is it is always it is always recommended to use uppercase letters. Uppercase letters or characters we can say for variable names. For variable names. I hope it making sense. Whenever you are declaring a variable, that variable should always be in a uppercase letter. Okay, it should not be name, it should not be like that. It should be declared like a capital letters or uppercase letters we can say. Age, it should be declared as like this. Okay, I hope it making sense. Next concept we have in this shell scripting, we have operators. Operators. Do we really need to know about these operators? Yes, you need to know about it. Okay, don't think it as a difficult way. It is a easy thing only. I have learned it very easily from the past 5 years. You can observe it. I'm explaining the concepts in a YouTube or video format. Okay, for me it is easier. For you, if you're seeing for the first time, it might be thinking like a difficult way. There is no difficulty until unless if you practice. Okay. Next, operators are used to perform. For what purpose we are utilizing it? Are used to perform? Are used to perform some operation. Some operation on the variables. Some operation on the variables. Okay. Like 10 plus 20 equal to that value should be 30. Whether 10 greater than 40, which one is that? It will comes as a false or true. Think of it, false or true, like that. And also 20 equal to 20. Is it true or false? It's true. It's true. Understanding? Understanding? Like this we will use. It will become as a false. Clear? So how many operators we have? How many operators we have? Arithmetic, arithmetic, logical, relational. Whenever if you're seeing the programming languages, we might be thinking that arithmetical, okay, and also relational and also logical. Logical will not be there. Looping statements, conditional statements, like this we having the operators here in shell script. Okay. So we'll discuss one by one over here. Let's talk about arithmetic operators. So arithmetic operators, what are the things we'll be having in arithmetic operators? In arithmetic operators, what are the things we having it? Addition, addition, subtraction, subtraction, multiplication, multiplication, division, and modulus, modulus, right? So let's talk about arithmetic and then we'll finish off this. After relational operators, we'll discuss about it. So syntax to perform arithmetic operator. Syntax to perform arithmetic operator. Okay, dollar, double brackets. For example, first number plus second number. This is the way we will use. Okay, I'm just performing simple operation. So let's talk about how to perform this addition operator here. Okay, I wanted to perform the operation like this. How I am going to perform? How I am going to perform? I need to take a user first input. I mean, it will be printing like enter first number, reading the first number, enter second number, reading the second number, and result. First number plus second number. Like this, I wanted to print in the shell scripting format. How to print it? How to print that operation? Okay, I will give nano addition dot sh, and then shebang is the common thing which we need to use, and then echo the echo quotations, enter first, enter first number, enter first number. In the read section, we'll be declaring the variables. First number. Okay. Echo, enter second number. In the read statement, in the read instruction, I'll be giving it as second num. Okay. Now I wanted to print the result. Result, result of, or we can say like result is, okay, result is, you can observe the statements, dollar, double brackets, and then first num plus second num. Understanding? First num plus second num. Close the double quotations. I mean, close the double brackets, and then close it with a double quotes. And let's check. Let's save this. Yes. And then execute it. Addition dot sh. It is asking first number. I am entering 2. Second number 3. Result is 5. Okay. Like this way, arithmetic operator we're going to use addition. If it is subtraction, multiplication, try with different examples and let me know if you face any error. Okay. Next we have relational operators. Next we have relational operators, or some people will calling it as comparison operators as well. Comparison operators as well. What are things which will be available here? Equal, equal, okay, not equal, not equal, greater than, okay, and greater than will be declared, like, okay, let me write it in this next line so that it will be easier. Greater than will be declaring like this symbol, or GT, or GE, greater than or equal to, okay. Less than, less than, how it is going to declare it? Less than symbol, less than, or LT, or LE. This is the way we will be declaring like relational operators, or we can say comparison operators also, we can say that one. Okay. And if you perform the same above program, like for example, let me go it. I will do cp addition dot sh2. What I will do is greater, greater dot sh. The same file name combination I will use, and let's check. I will use nano greater than, greater dot sh, and here in the echo statement I will be utilizing it to, okay, to greater than symbol, okay, and let's check how it's going to be performed. Let's check. Sh greater dot sh, first number, okay, let me enter 10, 20, and let's check. Result is 0. That means 10 is greater than 20, it will be become as a false, right? Yes or no? So it will become as a 0. 0 means false. 1 means true. Okay. Like that we can understand. Okay. The next things to cover in this topic is I need to cover about conditional statements and I need to cover about looping statements. Okay. So these two things I'll be covering in the next session. Okay. That's all for this video. I hope you got the content about how to declare the variables and all these things. Okay. Thank you. That's it for this today's video.